Hello all. In very first lecture, we studied that how to find out the vulnerable websites from the Google. We have randomly picked some websites. Some websites are vulnerable with respect to the SQL injection, and some websites are less vulnerable, and the chances of doing injection on those websites are less. Understand? So those things are very much important, which gives you the actual fundamental things, that how one can use the special character to bypass the front end to let just connect with the databases. In second lecture, we studied that how one can use the different kind of tools to perform the SQL injection on the real time websites, how we can exploit the websites and how we can get the database. Now we are going to understand that what is a mechanism behind that. We If we get the website and if we are running the SQL map there, what the SQL map or what the tools are actually doing there. Okay, this part is very important for us because actually, listen, if you're going to build your own website or if you're going to protect someone's website, you must know actually what mechanism work behind the SQL injection, which will also help you to let understand the last motive of our tutorials, that is how to protect the websites or web applications, how we can do their secure coding to develop a front end which will not allow us to actually bypass that phase to let just connect the databases directly. So understand the last part is very important as well, that how we are protecting the websites, how better we are validating the inputs that is being taken from the user side, and as well as how we can actually restrict a user to let's just have the inputs from his side, and how we can validate it that those inputs that is being given by the user is actually valid inputs, and how if it is not being valid, how you're tackling those inputs and how you're not letting your database to expose to the user. So basically, no, it's a third thing, mechanism of the SQL injection. We have to understand this thing, and to understand what I thought of, that let's just we can install some labs here. Now, what do you mean by lab? Lab is like we can have some virtual websites, virtual environment where actually one can easily perform the same thing that happens in a real time when you are exploiting a database, oh sorry, when you are exploiting the website via SQL injection. So for that, what I thought of, we have installed a lab which is known as WebGoat. Fine. So how to install it, I'll be telling you the very easy way to install that tool. And to install that tool, you need to do what? Simply download one package. I'm telling you this in the uh, Linux. If Linux, whether it is a Ubuntu, whichever the distribution it is, currently I'm working on the Kali Linux. Fine. So here I am simply writing webgoat, and you have to download the webgoat jar file. So you'll be writing here jar, webgoat jar file. Fine. Click this, and you can directly download the jar file from GitHub. Once you download, you can see there you have a lot of packages. You have to download this WebGoat server 8.0.0. Currently the updated version is 8th version. Fine. You simply download this package. Once it is being downloaded, what you need to do, simply go to the portion, the partition where it is being downloaded. Here I will show you where I have downloaded. Simply there is a download space partition, and here I have downloaded WebGoat server. Fine. So go do what here, write ls. You can check where you are actually. It is not here. So I have to move to the desktop. So you will be writing cd desktop, sorry, cd space downloads. Once you went to the download, you see, you can check that yes, I'm at the right location where the WebGoat server is actually downloaded. Now simply do what? It is a jar file, so simply you will be running a Java. You will be writing Java, Java, Java minus jar, then use that file name WebGoat and use tab always. So I have written the same thing and click enter. It is the easiest way to run the WebGoat lab, and WebGoat lab, I'm telling you, it's one of the best uh, lab that is being developed by only OWASP. You can understand that if OWASP team is developing a lab, that lab must be enriched with all kind of vulnerabilities which can be exploited there only, and as well as they have also provided you a lot of tutorials through which you can understand SQL injection, cross-site scripting, or any one of them, any one from the list of top 10 vulnerabilities. So it is like that file is running, and once it is being executed, you can check it. Once if starts, it will show you that the package is being properly running and started, the module is being started. Meanwhile, you have to do what? Click on the browser, open the browser, browser is open. Okay, now simply do right there. I'm running that lab on local host, that is 127.0.0.1. So you can directly write there local host colon, it is running on the 8080 port, so right there 8080 slash webgoat login and click this login. It will be open only when this package will be completely executed on the shell where you are running. Now it is showing that started webgoat. Again you do what? Go to the respective place, write localhost 8080 slash webgoat slash login, and this time you can see it is being initialized this side, and you can open this. It is very easy. Again I am repeating, you have to download the webgoat from the GitHub. Simply do what? Open the Google, write the webgoat.jar file. So you'll be writing webgoat.jar download, then download it. Once it is being downloaded, run it in your terminal by writing java minus jar and the webgoat jar file that you have downloaded, mention it and click enter. Once it is being executed that side, open the browser, write the localhost colon 8080 slash webgoat slash login. Mark my word, once it is being loaded here on the browser, simply go to the register new user and rest. It is very easy. It is taking only three inputs: username, password, and confirm password. That's all. Click on the agree part and sign up. Fine. I have already signed up, and my username is webgoat, and the password is again the webgoat. Now you actually entered into the lab. This this is having approximately all the top 10 vulnerabilities within that, and within this lab you can study each and every vulnerability in details. They have included approximately each and everything. You can check the SQL injection advanced, SQL injection on the more advanced level, how we can mitigate there, actually how we can one can reduce the risk of SQL injection, and many more things. So we'll be moving to the SQL injection direct part to understand the concept. I'll be telling you directly here. Look, the prerequisites for this lecture is that you must know at least the basic fundamental of the structured query language. Fine. In whichever the tool you're doing it, whether you'll be learning it from Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server or MS Access or whatever you are using there, you must be clear with the concept of structured query language anyway. Fine. So let's just understand here. If I'm writing a select, what is actually SQL injection? A SQL injection is something through which you are bypassing the front end. Again I'm repeating, a website is having two things, front end and back end. Front end is not only used to let interact with the user, but also a front end is here to protect your database. So generally a user is coming and accessing the data, the website cannot access the database directly. Fine. So you are giving the values into the text field, you are clicking the button. Once you click the button, event handling is done that side, and back side the query runs, and that is being passed from front end to the back end, and that side, the back end side, it gives, it throws a value from the database, and it is being received by the front end, and then it is being displayed. So this is something which is where actually front end is working as a middle layer between a user and the databases. Fine. So understand how we basically inject into this and how we can get access the databases directly. Look, I'm giving you a very simple funda. A funda is like, I'll be writing, suppose I'll be writing here, I'll be writing select asterisk from account where password is equal to 1 2 hash at the rate dollar something. So basically this is a simple query which I am running. What is the significance of this query? Understand, if you people are English people, you know this is a subject part and this is a predicate part. Fine. So select asterisk from account will be only executed when the password, this subject predicate part, password is equal to this value will be true. Again I am repeating, this query will be executed only when this portion will be true. That means it, when it will be correct, it, this asterisk will be executed and the full tuple will be returned. But what about the hacker? Suppose I'm a hacker and I really don't know that what is a password is actually. So I don't know the password, so I'll be writing anything. I'll be writing anything like any text because I really don't know. So the motive is here, anyhow I have to execute this query, but this last part will be throwing you the false. So if it is false, this will not be executed. So what I'll be doing, I'll be writing here or 1 is equal to 1, and because password is actually here it may be a text as well, so I can also use this as a text. You know, in a SQL injection, in SQL structured query language, whenever you're using a integer, simple integer, it is being used without single quote. If it is being used, if you are using something in text, we are always using the single quote. So you must know the basics of the SQL structured, that is SQL structured query language kind of thing. What we use, what are the data type, and how we pass the values. Okay, so basic. Now see, what is OR? OR is means 0 or 1 is always 1. 1 or 1 is always 1. So that's mean this query be executed only if this password will be true. Fine. Now this password will be true. I really don't know. It will be false. But again, another part of this second thing is 1 is equal to 1, which will be always true. And if any of them will be always true, this will be executed. As I said, or 0 false, it will be 0 because it is false, but it will be always 1, mean to say it is true. So any of them will be true, the password will be always true. So in this case, I am always getting this portion, that is account table. Fine. So basically this is a concept, and we call it a smart input. What we call it? We call it a smart inputs. So basically you can have any permutation and combination of such queries which always allow you to get or display the value from the database by fooling the front end, or by fooling the you can mechanism that you have actually have at the back end or a front side, is a SQL injection. And to use such to bypass such things, such mechanisms, if you are bypassing those mechanisms directly successfully, we call such thing is a smart inputs. Smart inputs are smart queries which always being executed at the database side. Now understand. So the same thing they have they have told you here. Select asterisk from user where name is equal to something, plus is of course or username. Again, if you are getting such kind of queries anywhere, you're running these queries directly on the front end side, and you're directly receiving or you're giving the values via these queries or via any kind of controls. You can say that the website is vulnerable. Fine. So let's just see whether it will be working or not. Like, suppose this is a website and we have to write here account name, and we have to get the account name. So if I'll be writing Smith, I'll be writing simply Smith here, and I'm clicking get account detail. I'm getting a account detail of Smith only. Fine. This is a very legal way. But if I'll be a hacker, what happens when I write Smith and when I click this button, backside this query executed. Select asterisk from username where name is equal to, in place of username what comes? This value comes, that is Smith. But what if I write Smith single quote or one single quote is equal to single quote again 1 and leave it? Understand? I am copying it to let you understand what happens. This is a query. Copy. And here, when I write Smith, it comes here. Now see what happens, to let you know. If I'm writing only Smith, forget about this part. It will only give you the data of Smith. But if I'm writing or 1 is equal to 1, in this case, the full value will be displayed, because 1, it will always, like, you will be writing anything. Mean to say, if I'll write H, no matter, this will display the full table. Okay, so this is known as a smart input. This is known as a smart input. So when you are clicking this button, backside this query is executed, and whatever the value you are writing here will be passed to this username variable. See what happens when I click this. This time I'm getting the full value. It will is displaying full table. The name of the table is users, and see, not only the Smith data but also snow, plane, sand, monkey, everything is coming here. All the tuples are coming. So basically this is a smart input I am giving here. I am writing Smith, this, again I am repeating, if I am writing only Smith, it is giving a Smith value. But if I am writing this, and here in place of Smith, I must suppose I'm a hacker, I really don't know whether what is the name of accountant, so I'll be writing only HHH, anything randomly, but the structure is same. I'm clicking on this and see, it will be working. So there's no need to pass the correct value if you're knowing a proper structure of a smart input. So this is something about SQL injection. We can also understand this thing on a depth level. Like, see, if there is employee ID, fine. Now ID is something that we consider as a integer only. Okay, suppose if something that you are passing in the integer, then what you are supposed to write here. Earlier you have written 1 is equal to 1 in a single quote. Remember, earlier you have written the same value in a single quote. Let me show you that thing, or in the same place, single quotes. Single quote is always used whenever you're passing the text. Now understand, name is always text. Name is always text. But if you're writing here ID, fine. So of course you will be using some number. I'll be writing suppose 1 to 1. So this 1 is equal to 1 will be also must be depicting some value of integer only. Fine. So this time, if you are passing ID, then integer value, must write here IDs only, the text only, the integer only. So in case if you are writing a text in place of integer, it will be of course not working, because see, the basic of the structured query language remains yet here same. Fine. So do take care what kind of value the queries are accepting. So in the same way, I am going to the another part. I am writing here Smith. Suppose directly I'll be writing. I am writing 1, 2, 3, or 1 is equal to 1. That's all, because it is taking only integer. I am writing, clicking here, and see the full value. All the values came here. So actually I don't know what is employee ID. So I have written anything 1, 2, 3. I have written 1, 2, 3. It must be wrong, huh? Then I am writing or 1 is equal to 1. This 1, 2, 3 is wrong, of course, but this 1 is equal to 1 is always true. So I am getting the full value. So this is something about the SQL injection. Fine. Now if you want to get this thing in more depth, understand this thing from here, how we can select exact working query or working predicate of the query part. You have to understand some basic things of a SQL injection, how we can make a better permutation and combinations for a query in DBMS. So you must know, if suppose you're using this or using double dash, these are basically used for command lines, huh? So suppose command line is always like it is a passive thing. If you're writing a program and you sorry, command line inline comments, sorry, I'm sorry, not command lines, comments. So if you are using this or double dash, it is basically for comments, huh? So if you're writing a complicated procedure and there you want to just mention something that this procedure or this function is used for something, so you can give a comment there. For so further you can take a reference of those comments and you can understand the full complicated program. So basically you can use a comment line. So here this comment line is always being ignored, and the further the value that you write, whatever you're writing after this symbol, these symbols, it is being ignored by the compiler. So in the same way, you're writing select asterisk from users where name is equal to admin, of course it is okay. But if you're writing dash dash and then you're writing and pass or something pass, it will be ignored, fine. So in case if you are using this query, here what happens, see, select asterisk from user where name is equal to admin. Of course admin is a very common thing, it will be true. But if you're passing a password there and you don't, of course being a hacker you don't know what is a password, I'm a unknown person to your website. But what I'll be doing, I'll be passing the values of the password in this art. I'll be writing minus minus and pass is equal to pass. Now pass is equal to pass, I have written this after this dash dash. So what is a hyphen hyphen, sorry, so this hyphen hyphen is something which is making this second part a comment line. So that's mean this full query will be executed and it will display the full the all rows and columns. Actually even I don't know the password, what it has done, it has simply let this part ignored by the compiler or by the tool that you are using there. The database will be tackling this full query positively and will display the full table. In the same manner, I can use a semicolon. Semicolon means that once a query is completed, you are writing the semicolon. That's when you make it a small complete query. So if you have written select asterisk from user and then after that you have written you have given the semicolon, that's when it is a complete one query. So after this query you can again start the another query. So this is a valid query, fine. But if you will be writing there semicolon and again you are writing something, that will be considered as another query. So if this is executed properly, of course this the second part may be also executed. So if you will be writing select asterisk from username, it is valid, it will display you the user table. But with this you are also writing drop tables users, what will happen, actually it will let the hacker delete that, drop the table that is actually existing in the databases. So this is something which is very much dangerous. You are running any kind of query using, you're merging any kind of actually a query with the valid queries. So it is allowing you to merge or make a chain of different queries that can be executed with the valid queries, and those uh, chaining, that those merged query can do any dramatically change in your databases. Another part is C or char something this. So if you're writing plus char 27, it is basically a data type, which is actually through this you are actually not quoting anything, you're not quoting any string, and somehow you're executing the full query. So in this way you can actually fool the front end that you are, yes, you are giving the proper valid input to the front side and you're clicking the button, back side the query will be executed, and once the query is being executed, your all permutation and combination of such thing will be properly reflecting, and thus the database is giving you the response. See another thing, like here execute a query to union or join these tables. Again, this is a table that is being given to you. Fine. It is user system databases. So I'll be writing user system data. These are the columns, these are the column names. So if I'll be writing here, I don't know the name, so I'll be writing name is what? Character. So I'll be writing this, and I'm clicking it. See, I got full table. Fine. So it is asking you to perform same thing, join union. So I have used this. I'll be doing what? I'll be using merging kind of thing. I have told you by using the semicolon we can get the full table. Now I want which table? Username, user underscore system data. Why? Because this contains the password as well, this contains the username also. So basically here what you have to do, you have name and password. So to display it, what I'll be doing, semicolon, I'll be writing anything. Fine, I'll write HHH single quote semicolon. So this is something will be considered as a name. So select asterisk from again user underscore system underscore data, where name is equal to h semicolon. Semicolon means ended, the query is ended. Then further I have written select from asterisk from user underscore system underscore data, where 1 is equal to 1. So I am merging another invalid improper query which will allow me to get the full table. So see, if I'll be running this, I'll be getting user ID, username, password and cookies. See what I got. It is telling me what is the Dave password. You can check it. Dave password is Dave. So I'll be writing Dave, and the password is again Dave, and check the password. And so it is saying congratulations, you have successfully completed the assignment, of course. So this way I have used what? I have used this here allows the chaining process. So here I have written some proper value, and thus with this using semicolon we have merged one invalid query here. So hope you understood a little bit a soul of a SQL injection here. I'll let you know some more things in the SQL injection. This video is getting more lengthy. I cannot upload it easily, so I'll be stopping here, and hope you will ask the thing what you haven't got here. Fine, I'll be explaining further if you feel me to explain it in another tutorial. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.